Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rise or Die podcast. This is Stephen M. Lowisz for episode 70, Expansion. Every day I get a couple questions from the listeners on here, and typically I just respond in a one-off email answering whatever they had, and I call it a day. However, I did get two really good questions yesterday that I wanted to answer today, and both have to do with expansion. So one, how are financial problems marriage problems? Money problems are usually a different type of problem. The second question is essentially why do you think that people that like to watch Netflix after work and drink beer and are okay making less than millions of dollars for a living aren't living a full life? Okay, so both of these have to do with the same principle of expansion. Let's all agree that the purpose in our life is expansion. We need to grow, we need to rise, we need to become more. And I would call that a universal truth. I mean, how many people are going to sit around and say, no, I'm actually okay with being a shithead. No, I actually don't want a good marriage. I don't want health. I don't want to make money. I don't want a relationship with God. Like, if that's you, then, well, fuck off. You're not actually telling the truth. Stop fucking lying to yourself. Everyone wants more out of life. Everyone wants expansion. Now, we often sedate ourselves to believe that we're okay with where we're at, but at the end of the day, if we're really honest with ourselves, you want expansion. So we're going to call that a universal truth now. All right, so let me tackle question number 2 to start. So why, if someone's okay with a subpar life, why am I saying that they aren't living a full life? Well, let me put it this way. If you're the jackass that comes home every day after a long day of work to sit around, drink beer, watch Netflix, are you being a good husband? Are you even healthy? Are you playing with your kids? Are you providing your family the life that you know that you could provide them? Are you improving your relationship with God by sedating and watching someone else live their life on TV as opposed to living your own life? Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with television or Netflix, but there is when that's what most men do every day after work. Come home, crack open a beer, expect their wife to make dinner for them, and watch some Netflix or some sports or whatever and call it a day. How can anyone consider that that is living life to their fullest? How can anyone consider that that is the epitome of life? We call that laziness and we call that sedation. Now, this isn't a popular answer. I understand that. I'm going to get shit for it via email over the next couple of days. That's okay. I'll live with it. But when it comes down to it, we need to realize that if expansion is what we're looking for, if we want more out of our marriage, if we want more out of business, if we want more out of our relationship with God, and if we want more out of our bodies, meaning health, how is this living life to its fullest? How is this setting the example for your wife, your kids, and those that know you, those around you, those looking up to you that you may not even realize? How is that setting a good example? So here's what I'll say. If that makes you happy, which it doesn't, but if you're under the belief that that makes you happy, that makes you selfish, that makes you an asshole, that makes you an extremely selfish person. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing this from time to time. There's nothing wrong with Netflix. I do have a Netflix account, believe it or not. I do drink beer. There's quite a few in my fridge right now as we speak. But at the end of the day, what's the difference between me and the guy sitting on his ass every day, treating his wife like shit, just trying to sedate with beer and Netflix? Fuck you. What's the difference? I'm setting an example. I'm investing in those around me. I am fulfilled, whereas the other guy has to sedate. I'm not on my high horse trying to talk down to these people. This is who I used to be. I get it. It's a harder life living the way that I live. expanding and working my fucking ass off every single day. But if you're the guy that, just like I used to be, that just wants to sit around and basically have a no pressure life just to make it easy and bring you a little short term fulfillment, fuck you. You don't deserve your family. You don't deserve the life that you're living. You don't deserve the opportunity to sit on your ass every day. Fuck you and your mediocrity. So, hope that answers question number 2. Let me go to question number 1. How are financial problems and marriage problems? Money problems are usually a different type of problem. I'm going to disagree. Here's why. And I explained this the other day in, what episode was that? Let's see. I explained that in episode 68, Core 4 link. But let me go through it again briefly for you. Most people that have money problems also have marriage problems. So I'm going to go down the Core 4 link again. Okay, body, being, balance, business. Let's start with body. If you have horrible health, if you treat your body like shit, frankly, if you're embarrassed of the way that you look because you have a dad bod, or worse, you're obese, keep in mind God created you. Okay, so we go from you feel like shit in body to now you're trying to have a relationship with God. But you're ashamed of yourself. You're treating the temple that, he tells us to treat our body like a temple. So 1, maybe you're embarrassed of yourself. 2, you're not treating your body like a temple. You're going directly against what you've been asked to do. So how can you have a good relationship with God? All right, let's take that into marriage. If you are embarrassed of yourself, treating yourself like shit in terms of fitness, and you're not having a great relationship with God, guess what? How can you love your wife? You don't love you. You're not loving God. How can you love your wife? You fucking can't. This isn't a complex equation. And you can argue against it, but what you can't argue against is the results that I've proven. And results that thousands and thousands of other men living the warrior's way have proven. You can argue against the theory. You can't argue against the results. Now let's take this into business. You treat yourself like shit physically. You don't have a relationship with God. Maybe you don't even give a shit about God or believe in Him. Okay, that's even worse. Then let's take that into marriage. You're going to war every day in your marriage. You're treating your queen like shit. You're going to battle every single day with her. How can you wake up and go produce in business? You can't. You can't go to war 24/7, 365 days a year. You just simply can't. Now, here's the flip side. You do have one-dimensional douchebags. You do have the one-dimensional guys where their body is a wreck, their marriage is a wreck, and the relationship with God is a wreck because all they care about is business. Sure, there are some of those possibilities. Just like you can be one-dimensional douchebag in body, you can be a religious prick in being, or you can be so obsessed with your marriage and so emotionally dependent on your marriage that you suck in body, being, and business. So you can be a one-dimensional douchebag, but if you want to have it all, guess what? You're not going to be successful in business unless you have a successful marriage. Again, this is for those that want to have it all, not the guys that are okay with being average, not the guys that are okay with being mediocre at best. If you want to have it all, you have to invest in each area. What am I going to do better with? When I go into a meeting at 8 a.m., and I've already invested across body, being, balance, and business by 6 or 7 a.m., whereas the guys that I'm walking in to negotiate with were waking up like an hour before. They're still drinking their coffee trying to wake up. Who do you think is going to be better at negotiating? Me. Now, let me take that further. Let's narrow it down to marriage, since that's what the question was about. If I'm going to war with my wife every day, if I'm dreading going home, and then, so what, I wake up, get into a fight with my wife. I used to do this every day, by the way. Go off to work, come home and fight some more. Do you think that I was in power at work? Do you think I could sell and negotiate and and go to war with the marketplace every day? Fuck no. The only way that I can is if I am that one-dimensional douchebag that doesn't give a shit about my wife, that doesn't give a shit about my health, and doesn't have a relationship with God. So you can be a one-dimensional douchebag, but if you want to have it all, you have to invest across body, being, balance, and business. Money problems are often linked to marriage problems. There are exceptions, I will give you that, but they are often linked to marriage problems because you can't go to war with your wife and the marketplace. You need to be supported by your wife so that you can go to war with the marketplace. You have an army backing you and you're ready to fucking conquer. Now, I get, and I'm going over my normal 10-minute max on my podcast, but this is a really important subject. There are people that are still going to dispute the theories that I just laid out. The problem is they're not even theories anymore, they're facts. I am in a brotherhood of men between Wake Up Warrior and Invictus. Invictus is my company, which we're affiliated with Wake Up Warrior. We're licensed to use all their stuff. We're licensed to do whatever we want. Between Invictus and Wake Up Warrior, there are thousands upon thousands of men living the challenge-based lifestyle, doing the fucking work, and investing across body, being, balance, and business. Then there's a lot of sedated motherfuckers who want to attack the theories. And the intention behind the questions asked, the guy was not being malicious at all. They're actually good questions. But I'm taking this further now. The guys who want to disagree, I challenge you to try to live the challenge-based lifestyle. Try to invest in your core four for 30 days and tell me if you have no results. It is simply not possible. And if you can pull it off, I want to hear from you. There are thousands of men that live the same way, investing across body, being, balance, and business every single fucking day. And their lives are changing. I am living proof of it. My financial situation is starting to get better because my marriage is better than it ever has been. And I'm going to continue to expand every single day, just as you should. So for those that want to sit around, crack a beer, watch Netflix, and then whine and bitch that they don't make enough, or even sedate with the fact that, no, I don't care about money, I'm good in my marriage, I'm good in health, I don't really care about any of it. Fuck you, you're sedating. Stop sedating and start expanding. You're capable. You are capable. I believe that you can do it because me of all people pulled it off. Thousands of guys are digging their lives out of massive fucking holes, massive amounts of sedation, and changing their life around. So this was a bit longer, bit heavier than normal. However, it needed to be said. Let me know if you have any questions. Steven@invictus.co, INVICTOUS.co. And of course, Steven's with a PH. If you don't know that, well, come on, guys. Other than that, that's all I have for episode 70 expansion. Of course, like I said, let me know if you have any questions. Subscribe to some of our exclusive content at riseordiepodcast.com. In addition, share this podcast with someone. Do it for them, not for me. Someone that you want more for out of their life. Someone that needs a little kick in the ass every day, just like you get from me. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow for episode 71.